So probably the reason why everybody here is we know there's conversation about who's gonna be the next head coach at Auburn. And we have our opinions about who's gonna be the next head coach at Auburn as well. So this is what we're gonna do tonight. I got a couple names here. These men might throw out some more names. But I'm gonna drop some names, gentlemen, and then I'm gonna ask you, is it good, bad, or interesting for Auburn? So I got a couple names, and I'm just gonna go down the list. All right, name number one, Jon Sumrall from Tulane. Start off with Bubba. Jon Sumrall, good, bad, interesting for Auburn.
Good. Jon Sumrall's a steady. He's built a great culture, and he knows.
That boy
All
got a
right.
canoe connection over there.
Oh wow! Dang, Toney, really?
I ain't know I said that out loud. My bad.
Toney,
That's great.
shout out to Kennard, man.
Shout out to my boy Canoe.
Yeah.
All right, Jon Sumrall. Good, bad, or interesting? I'm gonna say it's good and interesting
Okay.
because he had Troy rocking and rolling down there. Got to give him that. 10, 11, 12 wins every year. Even though I think he was only there 2 or 3 years.
2 years.
2 years, he did his thing. He had 10 plus wins in both seasons.
Mm-hmm.
He went to Tulane, and he's had Tulane looking really good. Got to give it to him. He's had Tulane looking really good. He is from the great state of Alabama. So he knows all about Auburn. He's from Huntsville. He spent time in Troy, and now he's down at Tulane in Louisiana, making some hay. So my only question is, will his recruiting be able to take the next step? Will he be able to surround himself with recruiters that can recruit the top-notch elite level talent that we need to sustain victories and a winning culture in the SEC? Hugh put together a nice roster, a really good roster.
Yeah.
He wasn't able to coach it the right way. We know Sumrall can coach. So if he was to come in with the roster that we have intact, I would think he would be able to have success over the next couple of years. But will he be able to sustain it recruiting wise? That's the only thing. That's why I said the good, I know he can coach.
Yeah.
The interesting part will be, can he do it? Can he do the recruiting that we need? So that's where I'm at on Jon Sumrall.
Facts. Y'all already know what I feel about Jon Sumrall. Good. I've been speaking Jon Sumrall all season long. Is there's one coach that you gonna go after? That's the one. I had a conversation with one of his former players during Classic weekend, and he told me, he said, you hire Jon Sumrall, y'all will be in the SEC championship next year. He said he is hard-nosed. He is no nonsense. That man is a winner. He said you're going to lose some players because he don't play. But he said you all will be in the SEC championship. So I'm saying Jon Sumrall good. All right, next one I got on this. Kenny Dillingham from Arizona State. Good, bad, or interesting? Toney, you're now in the second string, so I'm going to go with you next.
For Auburn, I'm gonna go bad.
Okay.
I like Kenny, but I just don't see I just don't see it as a fit at Auburn.
Yeah.
He might have caught lightning in the bottle at Arizona State last year with Scatterbo and his quarterback, because he's followed that up with not as good of a season this year. So therefore, once like I said, I'm not real on Dillingham, so I'm out on that one.
Okay. All right, Bubba. What about you?
I think it's good. I'm a big fan of Dillingham. I think he's a lightning rod. He individually is one of the best recruiters in the country himself. And I think structurally, when it comes to fit, I don't really pay that much attention to overall fit. I know it's important, but at Auburn, you just have to be strong minded overall. I think that's overall the fit thing. Structurally, in terms of off the field staff and building a program that way, he was ahead of the curve in terms of bringing in a general manager and having all that off field recruiting stuff, and him in his second year going the CEO route, going and getting a great offense coordinator, Marcus Arroyo, one of the best in the country as a play caller. And I think he would immediately come in and he'd be able to retain the roster. And he would win over the fan base really quickly. Because I don't know how much y'all know about Kenny individually as a person, energy wise. That's one of the biggest things with him is the energy he brings. I think he would retain Durkin and retain the defensive staff. So I think that's a big win, and that's why I think he'd be a good fit.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna go interesting. I think Kenny Dillingham is probably one of the hottest names as far as up and coming coaches, but it's I'm nervous about hiring a straight offensive guy because we've been down this road before, and with Hugh Freeze, he was had a prominent offense, knew how to coach quarterbacks, and we saw how that resort ended up. My main concern would be with what we saw with Bo was good. What we saw with Sam Levitt was good, but this year it kind of something happened. Something kind of fell off. So that's kind of like my reason why I'm kind of in the interesting. And I know he's now moved up to like maybe like the top guy on a lot of boards. And also really concerned is the reason why he's moving up and now kind of showing a lot of interest is because he's trying to get a pay raise at Arizona State. Because Arizona State is where he's from. He's been vocal about needing changes. So I'm wondering if the noise is to get a pay raise and to get more money there. So that's why I'm kind of going in the interesting route with him. But I think he's still a pretty good coach. All right, Eli Drinkwitz, head coach at Missouri. We'll start with Toney. Good, bad, interesting. Eli Drinkwitz.
I guess you can call it maybe interesting. He's not a bad coach, but he's not a good coach for Auburn. I'll say that. It's interesting, but not the guy for us. He's doing good things, and Missouri would be, his half.
Oh, Toney, you froze on us, buddy.
I'm out. I'm bad. I'm bad. Who I froze?
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Okay, you back now.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Like I was saying, he's good for Missouri, but he's not what Auburn needs.
Gotcha.
So I'm out on that. I ain't even got to go into a whole lot of detail. Bad.
Gotcha. All right, Bubba. What about you?
Yeah, I'll go interesting too. My biggest hang up with him is clock management. It's been a consistent issue at Missouri. He's had multiple opportunities now to make a run at the playoffs with rosters that were not necessarily playoff caliber. He's recruited okay. His first 2 years were really rough, where he was trying to hang on to play calling. Then he hit on his offensive coordinator, Kirby Moore, but I don't think he's a good enough in-game manager. And with the amount of big games Auburn plays and how important every second is against Alabama and Georgia, and next year with LSU and Ole Miss coming into town and Tennessee, I don't know if I could trust him at the top. Where Kenny, I think, as a CEO, he's done a really good job in game. I don't see the same thing with Eli. And even though, back-to-back 10 wins, that's impressive. He got a big win in a bowl game against Ohio State. I just don't see it as him as a coach to where it would be consistently sustainable at Auburn with our two main rivals being two of the best programs in the country.
He's bad for me. I just don't think the fit would be right. And yeah, I think with this,
Yeah,
looking
I
for
don't.
another coach.
It's not going to move the needle on the plays.
Yeah, it will just be looking for another coach in the next 2 years. I think, yeah, like you said, maybe Florida or maybe you just stay in Missouri. I think he's perfect for Missouri. So yeah, I don't. It's a no for me. It's bad for Eli Drinkwitz. All right, moving on. I say the next one I had for last. Courtney at Vanderbilt. Good, bad, or interesting? Bubba.
Yeah, I'm gonna go bad. He cannot recruit at this level.
Yeah.
I think he's got a great quarterback, and I think Jerry Kill and Tim Beck did more for that program than Clark Lee has. He's portaled pretty well, but I mean, he can't even win recruiting battles in his own state right now. And Vanderbilt's got more money than people think they do. Like they have enough
That's
to be
big
competitive.
facts. You made a very great point. That's very true.
So
Very
I
true.
think he can stay there. They might win 8 or 9 this year, and then they'll go and they'll start winning 6 games and 5 games again. I think the best move for him would probably be taking that Penn State job.
Following James Franklin footsteps. All right, Toney.
James Franklin got hosed, man.
James Franklin holds himself. You can't lose. You can't lose homecoming to Northwestern and expect to keep your job.
2 games shouldn't cost you your job. That's not the way it should go. Especially when you average and win you.
Not just 2 games. Those 2 games, in the manner that you lost those 2 games, should cost you your job.
No, I think the 2 playoffs last year should make up for the 2 losses against UCLA and Northwestern.
But you haven't won a big game since you've been at Penn State.
Well, Penn State ain't the job people think it is.
It's a big job though.
It's a pretty good job.
You can't name 10 jobs better.
Well, I know Kurt Cignetti turned it down, and I know Matt Rule's turned it down.
Matt Rule's at his school.
Yeah.
He's at his school. That's his school. So you can't blame him. And Kurt Cignetti, he built his own monster. He's his own man. He's different. So I put it like this. Clark Lee, no, bad. No. He's from here, but he played at Vanderbilt. He's a Vanderbilt guy. He should probably stay there.
Yep.
Everybody's talking about, he's doing this at Vanderbilt. James Franklin did a better job at Vanderbilt than Clark Lee has.
That's very true.
That's a fact.
People scream. He didn't have the NIL. He didn't have the portal to help him build Vanderbilt quickly. He did that brick by brick and by coaching. He beat Ole Miss 2 years in a row. He beat Tennessee while he was there. Posted a couple 9-win seasons. Clark Lee hadn't won more than 7 games yet. So he beat Bama. They tore down goalposts. He's been competitive this year with Diego. I'm all for that. But before Diego Pavi, what did Vanderbilt and Clark Lee look like?
2-10.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
So is Clark Lee Gene Chizik with Cam Newton and without?
Yeah, probably.
Exactly. Because we saw what Gene Chizik looked like at Iowa State. Had a losing record. Came to Auburn. Didn't really look that good. 2 came in. Changed the world.
Yeah.
2 left.
Back
dirt. Before Diego Pavia came, 2 and 3 wins. Diego shows up. Everybody talking about Vanderbilt. What's going to happen when Diego loses? When he leaves?
There ain't
Back
another
to
one.
basics. I ain't bringing that to Auburn.
Nah.
Bad.
Stay in Vandy. Bad for me. I ain't even going into no detail. All right. The next one is even more kind of funny because his name is circulating around even more now. Jimbo Fisher.
Hell no.
Good, bad, or interesting?
If this was 10 years ago, absolutely. But right now, absolutely not.
Man, Jimbo. That's my guy.
I knew he was gonna get excited.
Fucks with Jimbo. I would love to see Jimbo operate in this NIL transfer portal era. Because them boys that Mike Elko down there whipping folks' ass with, them Jimbo boys. Jimbo brought all them boys in there. I saw what Jimbo did for me personally down in Tallahassee. Jimbo didn't get fired. He left. I saw what Jimbo did in Baton Rouge on the Nick. I remember Jimbo on the plains. Jimbo can recruit before NIL, before the transfer portal. Jimbo was putting together top 5, top 10 classes. Before NIL, before the transfer portal, Jimbo winning conference championships. Before the NIL, before the portal, Jimbo put up a national championship. The first playoffs in college football history, Jimbo was there. I rocks with Jimbo. I like Jimbo.
You can let him go to Florida State, yeah.
But he can go back to Florida State. I ain't gonna lie. If Florida State had any sense, they'll sucker the block and bring him on back. I think that's a perfect fit. Jimbo back in Tallahassee. And I'm gonna leave that right there. We can go to the next name.
I'm with this guy, Phoenix Cat 227. Hell no. No. Jimbo, go to Florida State with Toney. All right. Getting down to the bottom of the list. James Franklin. Good, bad, interesting. Toney, James Franklin.
Good. He might have banged his head on the wall up there at Penn State with Ohio State and Michigan. But you put James Franklin on the plains, I think good thing happened. We know the man can coach. We know he can recruit. Resources, NIL, the fan base at Auburn, all that lends itself to success. I would love to see James Franklin on the Plains. I absolutely would. I mean, we all know the man can coach. The man had Vandy winning 8-9 games.
Mm-hmm.
That's unheard of. Still has yet to be duplicated. This man was striking fear at Vandy. I can only imagine what he could do on the Plains with some real backing. So I'm good with that James Franklin. I would love to see James Franklin. If things don't work out with DJ Durkin and Derek Nix the rest of this season, my number one option would I think I'd like to go James Franklin.
Okay. All right, Bubba.
Yeah, I think he's the safest option. He has the highest floor of any candidate available. I think at bare minimum with James Franklin, you're going to be a consistent 8-9 win program. And I think with the resources and with the wake-up call he got at the end there at Penn State, he's going to make some philosophical changes, especially offensively. He's hired well consistently. He has a pretty solid coaching tree. And his teams are consistently fundamentally sound, and organizationally, he is very well organized. That's the biggest thing. You bring him in, I mean, he's going to hit the ground running. In terms of roster retention, it's going to be a tough pitch for receivers. I know that. But in terms of building a consistent program, and you look at his teams at Penn State, those are SEC-type teams. Those are teams that win up front, that run the football, that control the clock, and manage games, that have consistently put edge rushers and defensive linemen in the league and linebackers. So I think you bring him in, and at bare minimum, he is the stepping stone to the next coach that you bring in after him to go and win a national championship because of the organization and the foundation he'll lay here at Auburn. So I think it'd be a solid hire. I think B+ A- caliber hire. You're not going to get a more proven guy than him.
Now, Bubba, I'm gonna say this now. Before Courtney, I don't mean to cut you off, Courtney, before you get started. We can't bring him in to say he's gonna win 8-9 games every year. We gotta be better than that.
We haven't won more than 6 since 2019. It was
I understand all that. That's fine. But that's the reason why Harsin got fired. That's the reason why Hugh Freeze got fired. We're not here to say, hey, we was going 8-4 on the good. We're going 8-4, 7-6. We ain't game with Gus.
I said that's the floor.
I can't sign up for a guy that's gonna be a stepping stone to the next guy.
Well, I mean, Franklin's not first on Auburn's board. I know that.
So who first on their board then, Bo? Tell me.
It's like Dillingham. Then Sumrall.
If Dillingham first on their board, we're gonna be looking for another coach in 3 years.
Dillingham just got first on the board. It was Sumrall. Now Dillingham is all. Now all of a sudden is first on the board today.
And I know there are things. I've heard Marcus Freeman, but I don't see him coming here.
That's a long shot.
Now I like Marcus Freeman. I like to see Marcus Freeman.
But
I like to see Marcus Freeman because I know our defenses wouldn't tail off at all. He's a leader of men. And it was just I don't know how the Auburn faithful would respond to that.
Yeah.
I don't know how they would respond to that, but I like it.
Yeah. I give him $20 million a year, but I don't think he's leaving. I think if he leaves Notre Dame,
we're more of a progressive fan base than a lot of others in the SEC. So I don't think, at least we think we are. But I remember when Prime Name was coming up, boy, it was a lot of pushback.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pushback on that. A lot of they didn't like old Prime too much. But that's neither here nor there. Courtney, what you think about James Franklin before we get too deep in the woods?
At first, I was like a no, just not interested, but I like it. I mean, I think James Franklin, he's proved himself in Vandy and Penn State. I mean, I think he'll do fine at Auburn. Um, if he has learned from his mistakes at Penn State and come to Auburn and can retain our roster and make us into having and competing with Alabama and Georgia in the top in the SEC, then I think he can work here. I think it can work. I know a lot of people are not really high on him, but I think he might be a decent fit, or I'm gonna say a decent fit. I think he would be a good fit. I'm not gonna lie, he would probably be a good fit. All right, last but definitely not least, our interim coach, DJ Durkin. Good, bad, or interesting? Bubba, it's on you.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be a no from me. The stuff at Penn State just can't get swept under the rug. Or not Penn State, Maryland.
Maryland.
And obviously, we all know the main situation. It's not even just that; it's the fact that the culture was so bad there, and that he knew a decent amount about what was going on there. He didn't step in and stop it and cut the head off the snake of who was pushing that, who was the strength and conditioning coach. He allowed that to run amok in his program. And then another thing is he wasn't even a good football coach as a head coach there. He's a great defensive coordinator. Absolutely. Means nothing to me in terms of what you could be as a head coach. There's so much more that goes into it. There is fundraising. There is locker room management that goes into that. There's organizational things, off the field hires. Obviously, setting up NIL. It's a fairly small amount of football that goes into being a head coach now. It's so much more about being a CEO. You got to look at it as a business. You're running a business. It's not just football anymore. You have to control all these other outside factors. Being a head coach, than just having a great defense. Because Will Muschamp had a lot of great defenses. Couldn't really crack it as a head coach. And we've seen these. There is some coordinators where it's worked. Those coordinators came from great DNA programs. Kirby Smart came from Bama. Ryan Day stepped in as the head coach at Ohio State. Very different with DJ Durkin coming from Jimbo Fisher, Lane Kiffin, Hugh Freeze, Will Muschamp. I think he worked under Brady Hoke at Maryland, at Michigan. So I just don't see it personally.
Now, Bubba, you kind of contradict yourself a little bit right now.
How?
Because you say these other guys were successful. They come from under other great guys, you know what I'm saying? Under great programs. But everywhere Will Muschamp was at was under a great coach and a great program.
That's true.
He was at Texas. He was with Nick.
Absolutely.
He was good at our. I mean, so can't really go with rock with you on that one. But Muschamp wasn't a head coach type guy. He's just a DC. With DJ, Maryland's Maryland. I leave that where it's at. He wasn't there long enough to really prove himself, or I mean, I don't know what are you gonna get from being the head coach at Maryland anyway. DJ has an opportunity to prove himself here. So regardless of what's happened before, these next 3 games are going to be imperative to his future at Auburn. If he comes out and our offense and our team, specifically the offense, looks better than it has all season, with more fight and more energy than it's had all season, defense really can't get much better than it's been. It's really about everybody else. So if we can get more from those guys and him putting Derek as the play caller, that's going to go a long way with the fans and with Cohen because he's already in the program. He's established with the players. That's gonna be big. So DJ is interesting to me. When I heard him talk yesterday and today, spoke with a lot of energy. I know you talked about being, CEO and all that good stuff, but the business of football is wins and losses. You can be a great CEO, you can raise money, you can endorse the brand, kiss the babies. If you ain't winning, none of that matters. So if you don't believe me, ask old buddy up there in Clemson, South Carolina, how's that going for him right now? Because all that CEO stuff used to play real well. You was playing for national championships and winning the ACC. Once you ain't doing that, don't nobody really care about all that. Wins and losses is the name of this business. And if you winning more than you losing, business takes care of itself. So if DJ wasn't our DC and wasn't in the program already, probably wouldn't be on my radar as much. But seeing how he's here, ingratiated he's ingratiated himself in the program. He's been here for a couple of years. I can see him being retained if he improves the product on the field offensively. That's going to be on him and Derek to make things work. Because defensively, there's no qualms about DJ Durkin. Great DC. But you got to put it all together and make things even on all sides. Offense has to be conducive with the defense. We can't just be defensively led because if you ain't scoring, you ain't winning. And we've proved that already. So I get what you're saying, though, Bubba. He has a lot to prove as a head coach. He's got 3 games to prove it. And maybe even 4 because we got a bowl game coming up. So
if we beat Vandy and Verser,
we got to beat Vandy. We got to get to 6. If we can get to 6, we can see what he can do. Courtney, what are your thoughts on DJ Durkin?
I just thought of something. Damn, and let me try not to get mad. Hugh Freeze said he's gonna get to a bowl game. He couldn't even do that. I'm about to get mad all over again. All right. DJ Durkin. So Durkin, he has head coach experience. He's a defensive coordinator. He's an excellent defensive coordinator. It's interesting for me. And the reason why is because I know what he is as a defensive coordinator, but his track record as a head coach ain't really don't really stick out to me. Now, if he bees like we said as a CEO, gets a phenomenal offensive coordinator like what Gene Chizik did when he got Gus Malzahn and had the offense going, then he can be fine. But I don't know. It's very interesting to me. He has a chance to prove himself these next 3 games. If we win all 3 of these games, then I would not have a problem with DJ Durkin being our head coach.
If we win these 3 games, DJ Durkin gonna be our head coach, no doubt about it.
More than likely will be our head coach if we win these 3 games and the bowl game. DJ Durkin will be our head coach. If we look it kind of rough, and I don't think he's gonna get a job. It's kind of like that situation when Caddy was stepping in. If Caddy would have probably won out, we might be having a different conversation. Caddy might be the head coach.
If Caddy had been messing with them girls, he probably would have been the head coach.
I don't get into that, but it's interesting for me with DJ Durkin, and the Maryland stuff. That's aside. I don't know I've read on it and then I listened to stories about it.
Shout out to
But
Dukes.
like,
Shout out to Dukes for that, by the way. I think he articulated it very well.
yeah, Duke with the scoop talked about it this week, and shout out to him. Hopefully we get him on the show too. But yeah, it's just interesting with me with Durkin. I'll say this: if you can't get, and I'll also say that if you can't get none of your guys like Sumrall, Franklin, Dillingham, give it to Durkin.